Okay, with the beginning, let's start the zoning hearing board for February 16th, 2021 for Lower Makefield. We have 5 appeals tonight. Let's see who's here tonight. Just let me know. I know Brian Keeley's not here. Matt Connors, you're here?
Yep.
Matt's here. Pamela Lee is still sick and convalescing from COVID. Pete Solar's here. Mike Tritt is not here. And Tony Zamp is here. So there's 3 of us here tonight, right? We got that correct. All right. Well, knowing that, we'll start appeal number 21-1895. I'll start to bring them up, and then Adam, you can enter any exhibits pertaining to that particular appeal. So appeal number 21-1895, KS Pools and Patios for Michael Hulsa. If you please come up or bring him up. Is it Kirk tonight? I can't remember.
Eric and Mike have been moved in.
Hello. They're moved in? Okay. At this point, I guess, Adam, do you have any exhibits to enter before we swear them in?
Yeah, just a few. Application's going to be A1, A2 site plans, A3 impervious surface calculations, B1 proof of publication, B2 proof of posting, and B3 notice to the neighbors.
Okay. All right. That being said, I have it right here. Who's here representing? Is this Mr. Holson? Mike Holson?
Yes, Michael Hustler.
Okay. Why don't you explain to the board? You got to be sworn in. I'm sorry.
Sir, do you sound?
Hello, Bill.
We lost you, Bill.
You're muted.
Bill, are you all right?
Yeah, sir, do you solemnly swear the testimony about to give will be the true self you got?
Yes, I do.
All right, thank you.
All right, Mr. Holson, explain to the board what do you need? Why do you need this variance?
I'm actually here representing Mr. Hustler.
And you're who?
My name's Eric. I'm from KS Pools and Patios, the contractor.
You need to be sworn in as well, does he not, Bill?
Yes. Sir, do you solemnly swear the testimony about to give will be the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
And your name again, sir?
My name's Eric.
Eric, okay.
Last name?
All right.
Conves, Konyves.
All right, Eric, if you're going to speak on behalf,
Yes.
go ahead.
So we're requesting relief of 5.4% to put in a in-ground swimming pool in Mr. Hustler's backyard. We're proposing a infiltration trench that's already existing to control the volume and runoff. And that's where we're at. He has a 2 foot by 2 foot deep by 100 foot long existing infiltration trench with a yard drain on either end, currently existing at the back of the property.
Okay. First of all, I'd just like to ask Mr. Majewski if those numbers are correct as far as that existing infiltration, and as far as that existing infiltration, getting it back to the 18% before this proposal for the pool.
I did review the calculations. There are a couple of minor errors. The plans show an existing impervious surface of 4,081 square feet. The number is actually 4,018. It looks like they flipped the last 2 digits. The impervious surface ratio of 18.4% is still accurate. However, when you calculate that out, the total impervious surface drops down to 23.0%, as opposed to the 23.4 listed on the plans.
24.3.
Well, it says 23.4.
Right, but it's
23.0.
so the number's 23.0.
Yes.
Okay. Mr. Majewski, while I have you, the existing infiltration system they have, how does that account for anything as far as with the reduction of the impervious surface?
That is acceptable to utilize that. However, there's also just a minor little error in that. They're required to retain 170 cubic feet of volume for the runoff generated by the new impervious surface. The existing trench size accounts for 160 cubic feet. So they're just 10 cubic feet short of the number.
So would it be acceptable to maybe widen that trench?
If it was just elongated by 4 feet, it would be, it would meet the requirements.
Do it in the corner here.
There's room.
Maybe, yeah.
We think we have room in the corner. No.
Yeah, I think we may have room in the corner to elongate it. But it is very close to the property line as is.
Could we make it wider?
Is there any chance we could widen out a section or maybe just widen the entirety of it? Maybe make it 3 foot wide instead of 2?
Or 2.5? It's very close.
Jim, what
Yes.
if they just added a spur onto it that's 4 feet long?
That would be acceptable.
Okay, yeah. So we could actually make it almost an L and bring it back towards the house at 4 foot.
Okay.
Okay.
So we have lead change out on the plan now?
Yeah, so we would have to alter that on the plan and send it in.
I guess the question here is, why was the never mind, I'll wait.
Go ahead, Pete. I know what you're going to say.
Why was this infiltration trench put in the first place, though? What was the rationale behind it being built back there before?
From my understanding, that was put in by the previous homeowner. We're not entirely sure what the reasoning behind it was.
He was forecasting a pool, I think.
Yeah.
Was there any permits taken out for that seepage pit or infiltration pit that Pete is talking about on record? That would maybe explain to why that was put in. I have to agree with that. I was inquisitive about that myself.
Let me check real quickly.
Okay, go ahead.
It looks like I have no record of that being put in or why it was put in. My guess would just be that they had a little bit of a lower area back there and wanted to have the water below ground rather than being above.
Would that be something, Jim, that would require a permit though to put in?
Typically something this big, yes.
Okay. I got a couple more questions, and I'm sure the board does too. I happen to see the shed. You're removing some of the patio. It looks like I see that. That shed. Is that something you guys put in?
No, that was there prior to the start of the work.
And since it's way up there and beyond the first quarter of the yard, I couldn't have been permitted. So basically, Jim, you're saying there's been no permit since they moved in there for any additional.
So there should be a permit pulled now that was approved for the roofs that are being put on right now, but that's aside from anything on the shed or the infiltration trench.
Did you put the shed in, or was it there?
Already asked that.
Yeah, no, the shed was there.
Okay, I'm sorry. My apologies.
No problem.
All right. Anybody got something else they want to ask him? Not Pete.
No, I answered my question.
Sure.
I mean, I just a general question. It looks like there's a pretty steep cross grade in the back, but I was wondering if there was drainage problems in the neighborhood. There aren't any, I presume, or are there?
Not that we know.
Not that I know of. That wouldn't maybe a question for Mr. Hustler.
Yep, I know of no concerns from anybody since I've lived here for the past 2 years to water issues. And to further answer the question about the shed, that was existing when I moved in, and it will be removed as part of the cleanup of the property. It's pretty run down and it's not proper in the first place. It's a metal shed and it's rusted and it'll be removed.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Jim, does that impact the impervious calculations and get them out of needing that extra 10 cubic feet?
It would be minimal.
Yeah, it looks like water from the property all goes to that rear yard there, and property from the behind them also rolls down into that low spot. So my guess is that's why there's an infiltration trench there.
I agree with Matt. I believe that. You see the infiltration trench across the whole yard there.
And if I may answer Peter's question, the removal of the shed will reduce the impervious surface down to about 22.6% roughly.
Does that mitigate out the need for going to 170 cubic feet? Is there 160 existing work done?
Yes, it does, as a matter of fact.
All right.
Fantastic.
So if the board was to so move, we probably would have moved that you could use the infiltration trench with the contingent upon removal of the shed.
I agree with that. Will we have, is the township participating in this?
No.
No? Is there any public comment?
No public comment.
I think I agree with Peter on this, now that I got that answer. And I think, like Matt says, because of the grade, that was probably why it was put in there. Anybody got something they want to add to that?
No, I'm good.
Okay. All right. That being said, the township's not participating. There's nobody on the phone or anywhere else. I guess at this point we should ask for a motion.
Move to approve appeal number 21-1895 contingent upon removal of the shed.
Second.
We have a second. Any discussion? Or no discussion? I'm sorry, go ahead.
I do have one question.
Sure.
The contingent approval, how long do I have to remove the shed given the current weather conditions? And I do have a couple of items in there that I don't have currently room for in the garage.
Well, when are you putting the pool in? Not right now.
No, I just want to ask.
I think we have to say you have to remove the shed when you put the pool in.
Okay.
I think that's the right thing to do.
All right.
Somebody else, differs from me. You're not going to do that till March or April or May. And that time you will be required to do that. Would that be okay?
Yeah, no, that's perfect. I just wanted to make clear because I'm all about aligning with the township and making sure that everything is aligned properly.
Mm-hmm. We appreciate.
Thank you.
Are you going to put the shed back in, though, at a further date?
If there's a decision to put it back in, we'll file the necessary paperwork to ensure that we comply with all the necessary rules and regulations.
Okay. And if there's any increase in impervious surface based on the size, you do. Okay. Fair enough. That being said, if there's not any other discussion, I'll take a vote, ask for a vote. Anybody in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anybody against? Okay. Motion passes. Thank you very much. You got your pool.
All right.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thanks.
Okay. Nice job. Okay. We're going to move to the second appeal, which is appeal number 21-1896. It's Anthony, pardon me if I massacre this, Anella and Amy Lamoureux. And they would step up. Here. There they are.
Hello.
Adam, is there any exhibits you want to bring in? These
Space and basically unaware of where we were at. And we're looking to, upgrade our backyard. With the pervious percentages, I think what we're asking for is only 3.2%. over the existing pervious space right now.
You are, but you're way over what is the maximum of, I believe in that area is 18, I believe. I mean, I understand what you're saying, but you're way over. I mean, you can buy the house with that calculation.
Yeah, we purchased the house about 2.5 years ago, not unaware of what the pervious space would be. You know, the pool was existing and everything back there was existing. And we also have a water retention basin right in the backyard. So we're only looking for, 3.2% added on to what we originally have.
I understand that, but you're way over what's allowed.
The board typically does not look at 3.2% as de minimis. Just to put that out there.
How did you get so high? You bought the house like that at 30%?
Correct. Yeah, we bought the house like that. Yes. And we were just looking to improve our house. And more functional back there because it's, there's some things that we bought it that the previous owners weren't really upkeeping the house, and we're just looking to improve it.
Well, you have an existing pool, so you're adding patio. Is that correct?
Yes, exactly.
A fire pit, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, and an area or a shed area because we originally had a shed there in the backyard, but we took it down just to buy something a little newer.
I'm still uncomfortable with the major amount of impervious surface, and I understand you're going to say you bought it like that, but that's a lot.
Is there any way that you could pull back the driveway? We could do a little
pull back
the driveway and to compensate for the patios.
What do you mean pull back the driveway?
Well, your driveway's at the end of it's fairly wide. I know you back out and then go down, but you have a kind of a hammerhead area here.
Somebody needs to mute their mic. They're getting a lot of calls. Maybe that's you.
We are going to remove that.
Yeah, there's a little space on the top of the driveway that's bumped out that we are removing.
You don't say that though on your drawing.
Right.
Yeah, we're actually going to remove that because we did have new fencing put in, and that overlays into that backyard. So we are going to remove that.
You're going to remove
shed in the back.
That little flag portion. Is that what you're going to remove?
Yes. Yeah, that little bump out. Yep, exactly.
And what about that fire pit? Is there, I mean, not for nothing, that seems like, is that even allowed to be that close to the edge of the property? I'm not sure of that. I mean,
there's nothing in the back. That's where the water retention basin is. In that back area, that's all, that's all the township's property.
And there's a current aerial photograph from 2020 that shows the pool. And it should be noted that the pool was constructed back in 1982. So it was permitted at that time. And there was no requirement for impervious surface back from the pool.
Can we stop for a second? We're getting a lot of background noise from somebody.
Does someone have their TV on or?
Right, the TV or, I don't know. Now I don't hear it. Okay, I'm sorry. It was just so loud. So there's the pool existing. And there's the driveway. That part of the driveway where it starts to angle out and then go back to the little flag area. You're just going to remove the flag portion or
Yes. Yes, we were going to remove that little bump out area on top of where the driveway ends.
So are you going to remove that piece that also gets awful close to the property line?
I don't think he was referring to this. No.
Yeah, where the angle's out, where the angle's out to go back.
This way.
No, we weren't going to remove that. We weren't going to touch that. We were just going to remove the driveway that is in the backyard where it's.
Yeah, okay, I got that.
Fence.
And this future hardscape patio, is that part of the calculations?
Could you repeat that, Anthony?
The future, I see a future hardscape patio, Is that part of your calculations?
Yes, it is. Yeah,
So
everything is-
Jim, what would be required for an infiltration bed to mitigate back to the 30, back to the pre-construction, the 31.2%?
I just did a calculation, subtracting out that little bit of a driveway bump out, the little turnaround portion, which is about 100 square feet roughly. That would make the proposed impervious surface, when all is said and done, 33.8%. In order to mitigate the runoff from that, to get back to where it is now, and including the removal, would be a 2-foot by 4-foot by 25-foot long trench. Would handle the runoff back to what is existing with the removal of that little bump out in the back of the driveway.
Is that just the bump out or all the way back to where it angles back to the driveway?
It was just the bump
I'm
out.
sorry.
Was that just a bump out, like the flag portion, or all the way back where it starts to angle back into the driveway? How much removal?
Just that little flag portion. It looks like about 10 foot by 10 foot roughly. And that would be this little piece here.
Right.
Yeah. I get we're well above 30%. I'm getting a little bit of a concern here about.
Me too.
And I do want to point out the infiltration the detention basins are designed assuming a certain amount of runoff from the neighborhood, and the more impervious area there actually pushes the runoff totals in the basin to over what it was designed for. So there is a reason to infiltrate on the property.
I'm uncomfortable with. I see what you're doing. The existing, the future hardscape. Not comfortable with that. I understand the fire pit back there, but in that driveway, I don't see no reason why you can't get rid of all that portion. I mean, you're high. You're real high. I know you're better. I got it. But that's high. How can you help?
Well, I mean, what am I supposed to do? I mean, seriously, I bought the house, and I'm thinking that I got a beautiful pool in the backyard, and I can't even do anything.
No, that's not true.
You got a beautiful pool in the backyard. So.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. You're asking for a future a fire pit, 2 added patios, a shed on a site that's already over impervious. Why don't you, take this back, think about it till the next meeting, and see if you can consolidate some of this down. Look at maybe filling out some more of the existing driveway and kind of tighten this up. Because as it stands, I don't think this is going anywhere.
So let me ask you this. I mean, what can I do back there? I mean, you're looking at it, you see the plan, take the pit out, take the hardscape out. I mean, what can I do?
Well, that would help you get through tonight. If you took the hardscape, the fire pit, the future the things you do, and take that angled portion of the driveway and back to the flag portion out, I think that number, we could probably ask Jim what that number would be if those things were removed.
But that's what I'm asking. Like, I'm already at, what's it, 30% pervious.
30 plus. 30.
Yeah. So what would I be allowed to do? Like like I said, I'm trying to.
31.2 is what you're allowed.
31.2.
Yeah.
Or you can offer to mitigate, which is what we were talking about with the trench.
Oh, Jim?
If I may, perhaps Mr. Anella and I can speak before the next meeting. We can go over a couple of alternatives, and they can present the alternatives to the zoning hearing board.
I think that'd be a good idea.
I agree with Matt and Jim. That's a good idea.
Okay.
I mean, I think you'll work out okay. You're asking for a lot. I got it.
Yeah, I get it.
I do have some ideas, but I think we have to review them.
All right. I mean, it is what it is, right? I appreciate it, Jim. And I guess if you let me know, I can get in touch with you, and then we'll talk.
I guess you should be asking for a continuance.
Yep.
Is that okay? First time doing a hearing and trying to.
You're doing great.
Awesome.
You need to just ask for a continuance for whatever is available, how much time you think you need to figure out what you want to do and get to Jim, and then schedule for the next zoning board meeting if you have, as time permits.
Okay. All right. I would like a continuance then.
Okay. Do we know what's available for a continuance? I mean, how much do you need? A month?
Yes.
Yeah, a month would be fine.
Okay. That would bring us where?
March 16th.
St. Patrick's Day.
March 16. How's that look? Or do we even know?
We have a lot of applications on all the meetings, but we can get through this, I think, fairly quickly when we go through the alternatives.
I agree. So, would you be okay with continuing this to March 16th?
Yeah, I'm fine with March 16th.
Okay. Somebody would like to make a motion?
I'll make a motion to continue appeal 21-1886 to March 16th.
Second. Do we have any discussion? Oh, was there any public comment? Did I miss anything? Bill?
No public comment on this item.
If there's any discussion, I'll ask for a vote. Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? The ayes have it. Your continuance is for March 16th.
All right. Thank you.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, continue. All right. We're back. Okay, just gonna get my paperwork in order here. Sorry, guys. Okay, our next appeal. Our next appeal is appeal number 21-1897. And it's for Lori Katz and Philip Sutton. If they would like to bring themselves up. And while they're doing that, Adam, is there any exhibits?
Yes. Let me just pull my notes. We have the application as A1, site plan as A2, impervious surface calculations as A3, proof of publication as B1, proof of posting B2, and B3 is the notice to the neighbors.
Okay. That being said, Bill, can we swear Lori Katz and Phil Sutton in?
And Rob.
Yeah.
And Rob.
Yeah, can you get me as well?
Sure.
Was that the pool guy?
Yes.
I'm going to swear all three is in. Do you solemnly swear the testimony about to give will be the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Yes. And please identify yourself, Mr. McCubbin.
Yep, Rob McCubbin, MCCUBBIN from Anthony and Sylvan Pools.
All right. That being done, tell us why you're here.
Yeah, so I can kind of give you guys an overview of what we're looking to do here. So we have a property here that is in the RRP zoning district, which carries a max impervious of 13%. Right now, the property, as far as impervious surface goes, sits at 20.1%. So that consists of the dwelling, the driveway, front walkway, a rear paver patio, a rear paver pad, and an egress window, which brings us to our 20.1%. I actually think it's 21%. I think his calculation's a little off. I think it's 21%. However, it doesn't affect the overall impervious number that we were looking for. So what we were looking to do, being that we're already over, we're looking to increase to 24.2%, which would consist of 120 linear feet of pool coping, 24 square foot equipment pad, and 1,220 square feet of patio, with the removal of 423 square feet of the existing paver patio in the rear, which would bring us, our total proposed brings us to 941 square feet, which is a total of 5,503 square feet on the property of impervious area, or 24.2%. Now, the max allowable in terms of square footage on the property is 2,951 square feet. So we are right now 2,552 square feet over the allowable in terms of square footage. We do have a stormwater management plan that goes along with this. That stormwater management plan will mitigate all 2,552 square feet. So we're mitigating back down to the 13% with the stormwater management system that we have designed.
Mr. Majewski, is that correct?
Yes.
Wow. I'm impressed.
Nice job.
That's nice. Anybody?
How does this interact with the floodplain elevations in the area, Jim?
This property is not in the regulated floodplain from FEMA, the 100-year floodplain or the special flood hazard area. It's located within the 500-year floodplain, or the 0.2% chance annual flood. So it has no impact on flooding. And it's primarily at ground. So first of all, it's not in the regulated floodplain, and it would have no impact or marginal impact on anything in a much higher flood.
All right.
Well, one of the reasons I'm asking is there's a proposed fence shown with this too. So, obviously because it's a pool, but.
Yeah, this is that area that's a little bit higher along the river.
Okay.
Yeah, the ground actually goes up from the canal towards the river. So the further you are away from the canal, the better you are for floodplain typically in this area.
Anybody, is the township participating? And nothing, they're not doing nothing tonight. Any public comment?
Yep, moving Nick Hogan in now.
Okay. Bring him in.
Nick, you can press *6 to unmute yourself.
Hi, this is Nick Hogan speaking.
All right, Nick, you need to be sworn in.
Okay.
Give will be the true Shelby guy.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. I'm one of the part owners of the property right next to this property on Michael Road. And my only concern is is the mitigation. From what I understand, it's going to be mitigated down to 13%. Is that correct?
That's correct.
How is that mitigation handled?
I'd have to look on a drawing. I think it's an infiltration.
There's an
Go ahead,
infiltration.
Matt, go ahead. I'm sorry.
There's an infiltration pit where any of the excess runoff created would be collected and infiltrated back into the ground.
Can we put that print up there so maybe he can say it? They do show. Anybody have that?
I got it if Jim doesn't.
Just so you know, I'm watching on the internet. There's a slight delay, so if there's anything you want to show, it's going to take me a couple seconds to see it.
Take your time. And let's show them where the pit's going to be too.
It's basically, when it comes up on your screen, you'll see that this is sort of a cut view into the ground as if you're looking at it through the earth. And you can see that below ground, there will be a bed that will have pipe and stone, and water will go into that and just basically be stored underground and percolate. And on the lot, that will be towards Michael Road a little bit on that side of the property.
Okay, so it'd be any runoff would be heading towards Michael Road. Is that correct?
It'll be collected through a series of yard drains in the property and then put underground on the, if you're looking at the house on the left side of the property towards Michael.
And what is being proposed is actually going to be less runoff than there is now.
Yeah, I mean the house. If I'm standing on Michael Road, the house to the left of this property is my property.
Mm-hmm.
So am I understanding you correctly that that's the way it would run off, or it would collect over there?
It should collect over there. Do you have runoff on your property now?
When it's really bad storms all the way in the back, let's say, I'm going to say it's the, trying to get my directions here, the northeast corner, back around there. Sometimes there's some standing water.
Jim, could you comment on that? It looks to me like it would reduce that runoff, but am I mistaken?
Well, basically, it'll be captured by some storm drains and then piped underground. And what we can do is just make sure that when they install the pool, they just make sure that water gets into those storm drains and doesn't wash over into the adjoining property. Does that make sense, Mr. McCubbin?
Yes, it does. And I think part of the problem, which I think will be resolved by the pool too, there was a little stone wall that was built along the backside of that property. That probably caused more issue there that is going to be removed and it's going to be ripped out as part of this project. But that
years ago,
some issue there because of that. And kind of what they did there as far as that grading goes, and then installing that stone wall, the water had nowhere to go. So it sat in that back corner.
Yeah, years ago, there used to a couple prior owners to the new owner, they had like a fish pond back there. So I think that's probably what that wall was part of. I don't know. The owner after that, I guess they dismantled that. Look, I don't have a problem with what the owners want to do. All I know, the property on the other side of us, they have standing water when there's really bad storms. So all our concern is encroachment on both sides. Mm-hmm. It's encouraging to hear that it's going to go down to 13%. So
that is very good.
So that's yeah. The only other question I have is, I don't know anything about this. First time I've even sat in on one of these hearings. If there was any problems in the future, what would be the solutions to that? Or what are the?
When they do the construction, our township engineer will check on it just to make sure everything looks okay. If you do see a problem when construction is well along and they're finishing up and you see that water is washing over in your direction, let the township know and we'll work with the pool installer to see what they can do to just make it a little bit better so that it doesn't impact you and your property.
Yeah, it's just, I just like, you know, a year, 2, 3 years from now, if there's a problem, what kind of redress does anybody have for decisions on zoning variances?
Well, like Jim just said, that design was based on our experience, and of course, Mr. Majewski's as well. This usually makes it better, even for your other neighbors. So our experience will be improved. I know you're concerned, and that's fine. There's always something. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I trust you guys, you know, and I trust the neighbor to do the best for everyone else. It's just more of an informational type thing that, well, what is redress for property owners if variances are approved and in the future they turn out to be bad approvals?
That gets to be difficult several years later. And that's why I suggested as the pool is finishing up, you let us know if everything's okay so that we can do it. You can't come back 10 years later and say, hey, I have a problem here. And I actually had someone say that to me the other day. They installed a pool 10 years ago and I have a drainage problem now. And I sort of said to them, well, there's nothing we could do now. But in a reasonable amount of time after they put the pool in, we can make sure we work with the property owner to make sure that they correct any deficiencies that there may be.
Sounds good. Yeah, sorry, and I don't mean to be a pest about it. It's an interesting thing to me is when you hear about variances, and who knows, I might be on that side someday. But it's just, well, what is this? How does this all work? And I appreciate all your honesty on all this.
I personally think this person is going above and beyond, and that it'll make it even better. I have one put in my yard.
Yeah.
Unbelievable difference.
Yeah.
So from my experience, and Mr. Majewski can tell you, and we've got a couple guys on the board that know water like you wouldn't believe. And we can't say in 10 years that's impossible. We can't go with that. But based on what he's designing and what Jim has saw, and I think you'll be okay.
Yeah. No, that's fine, and I appreciate it, and I wish the best of luck for everybody involved.
And like Jim said, as it's going on, you can be involved as it's being built.
Okay,
and that's probably not a bad idea.
Very good.
All right.
Very good.
Jim,
that's all I have.
Jim, you guys also now require the O&M agreement too, correct? For stormwater. The operational and maintenance agreement that the homeowner would have to enter into to make sure that stormwater system is being properly maintained.
Correct.
That is correct.
Very good. That's all I have, fellas, ladies and gentlemen. That's all I have. Thank you.
Well, we thank you for coming to the board. Thank you very much. Okay. Is there anybody else?
No further public comment.
All right. Township's not participating. Does anybody want to make a motion? Nobody? Well, I can make them. I just don't like. I will.
I'll make a motion to approve appeal number 21-1897, subject to reducing the effective impervious back to 13% in conjunction with the town engineer reviewing the infiltration system.
Second.
Is there any discussion? Being no discussion, I'll ask for a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? Nobody being opposed, the motion's carried.
Thank you.
Motion granted. Okay, thank you very much. on 4 now, right? Appeal 6 on here. Okay, next appeal is appeal number 21-1898. It's Rose and Karen Birnbaum. I hope I said that right. Let's bring them in. And while they're coming in, Adam, is there any exhibits?
Yes, we have application as A1, site plan as A2, and there's a zoning data summary as A3, deed as A4, B1, proof of publication, B2, proof of posting, and B3, the notice to the neighbors.
All right. Bill, can we swear them in?
You guys solemnly swear the testimony about to give will be the truth, so help you God?
We do.
Thank you.
Okay. That being done, explain to the board why you're here.
Well, we're here to propose to build a pool with the concrete decking. The property as it stands now, as it was built in 79, is at 19.98% impervious ground. And I guess the maximum for us is supposed to be 18%. As our plans show, it's going to be increased to 25.67%, but we have a seepage pit that should bring the percentage back down to the 19.98%.
Jim, is those figures correct?
Yes.
What is the mitigation you're using here? Is it infiltration pit? I'm trying to look for my plan. Here it is here.
It's on the screen.
Yeah, I can hardly see that though in my eyes. Yeah, so that's okay. I have the full size. I got the full size here. Where's that pit going? I'm still looking for it.
To the left. To the left.
There it is. Okay, I got it. Yeah. All right. Okay.
Jim, did you review the numbers?
Yes, they are correct.
I don't see an issue here. Is there anybody got something?
I don't have any comments.
I have a couple of minor comments here. The grading plan, obviously it's using 1 foot contours. This looks like it's only collecting from the yard drain. Is that correct? Or is there pipe being piped in from somewhere?
No, right. It's only from the yard drain. There's no piping from the house or anything like that.
Okay. Because the way the grading plan is shown here, it's kind of hard to tell that it's going to be pitched into the yard drain from everywhere.
It would be saying that you're at 152 at the yard drain or right around there, but we really can't tell on the right side where you're at. But it does look like it. Jim, do you know anything about this situation?
Basically, the way it's graded, the grading from the west side of the property or the left, as seen on the drawing, most of that water will be channeled and collected into that system. And that's something that they could probably work with our township engineer just to refine that a little bit better to make sure it captures more of the water.
Okay.
And as you hear Jim saying that, you're willing to go along with the township's required recommendations?
Yes.
Matthew or Pete?
I guess the question is the equipment pads and the tank pads, those are acceptable at close to the property line?
What's the distance? We were working around it's supposed to be 10 feet from a window at the house. Is that what it is?
I believe it has to be 5 feet from the property line. I'm not sure about the window.
well, it's more than 10 from the window. So we can make it, if it's not showing that it's 5 feet, we can make it 5 feet from the property line.
Well, those dimensional issues they're mentioning, and I'm not sure the exact code, but sometimes those little pads are exempt, but I can't say that for sure. But they are right. If there is an issue with that, and it does sound like you would be agreeable to move the pad, so it's not going to be a dimensional issue with the neighbors.
No.
That's fine. That's not a problem.
And typically the township requires that pool equipment be a minimum of 5 feet from the property line.
From the property line, okay.
Yeah, I thought so. All right. Anybody public comment?
One public comment, bringing them in now.
Okay.
Vivek, you can press *6 to unmute.
Yeah, hi, this is Vivek Palagodu. Can you hear us?
Yep.
Can you hear us?
Yeah, I hear you.
Okay.
Morning.
Oh, Jesus.
I'm going to need to swear him in. Sir, do you solemnly swear the testimony about to give will be the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Could you spell your first and last name for me, please?
Yeah, first name is Vivek, V as in Victor, I, V as in Victor, E as in Edward, K as in King. Last name Balagodu, B as in boy, E, L, A, G as in George, O as in Oscar, D as in David, U.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
Yeah, hi. Yeah, a couple of questions that I wanted to ask. The others have already asked it, and even the previous public comment answered many of my questions. And Ross and Karen are great neighbors to have, and I'm sure they're going to do an awesome job with this pool. The main question that I wanted to ask, which has been asked, was more along the lines of the drainage. I mean, I live on the left side of this property, and as you called out, the gradient is not that much, but there is still a gradient. So just wanted to understand what was being done to mitigate that. So I think that's been answered already.
It has been, and Mr. Majewski confirmed that, and I assume you don't have any drainage flow over to your area right now because the way the grading looks like to me. But Jim has been asked that and answered that because of the location of that infiltration or seepage pit, the grading will bring everything into that pit, as you can see on that drawing there. So in your case, if you're to the left of the property, you're probably not even experiencing anything now. I don't know that. You'd have to tell us that. But it does look like this will gather it all up at that location at 152. You can see the level right there. And Jim did just confirm that.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, for us right now, we don't have any water collection between us and Mr. Rahman and Bunban family, but our water collection issue is between us and the neighbor behind us or to the south of us. So that's certainly not part of this hearing, so we'll take it another day, but at least good to know between us and Bunban's family that you don't see any issues. So question has been answered. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you for coming to comment.
Yeah, and good luck with the project.
Thanks.
Do we have any other public comment?
No further public comment.
Okay. All right. That being said, I guess we're looking for a motion, right?
Mitigating this back all the way to 18% or to 19.8%?
The 19.98%.
Okay. Make a motion to approve appeal number 21-1898, subject to approval of the stormwater management plan by the township engineer mitigating it back to 19.98%, and subject to relocation of the proposed pads to be in conformance with all code requirements.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? Being no discussion, I'll ask for a vote. All those in favor? Say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Since no one's opposed, the motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Okay, my screen changed for some reason, but I'm not opposed to it. Okay, we're on our, looks like our last appeal. And this one? Appeal, the Schaefer?
Yes.
Yes.
Appeal 21-1898. Is that right? No. Appeal 21-1899. Mike and Melissa Schaefer. If they can come in, and while they're coming in, if Adam can enter any exhibits pertaining to this appeal.
Sure. We have application is A1, site plan is A2, impervious surface is A3. Proof of publication is B1, proof of posting B2, and notice to the neighbors as B3.
All right. That being done, Bill, would you like to swear these people in?
Sure. You guys solemnly swear the testimony about to give will be the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Yes.
Thank you.
Do you need to get me again, or am I good?
Are you involved with it? Are you testifying?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, let me.
Yes.
Well, you swear them in, yes.
You solemnly swear the testimony about to give will be the truth, so help you God?
I do.
All right, thanks again.
All right, thank you, Bob. If you'd like to explain to the board why you're here, now's the time.
Sure can. Okay, so we are in an R2 zoning district here, which carries our max percentage of 18% in this particular zoning district. The property is 21,779 square feet. Currently, we're sitting at 20.2%, so we are over the 18% impervious. And what's making that up is we have the dwelling, driveway, front walk. We have a rear paver patio. I believe there's a hot tub patio, and then an enclosed screened-in porch, enclosed patio in the back, which is 4,610 square feet, which brings us to our to our limit here, or just over. We are proposing our pool coping again at 116 square feet, a 24 square foot equipment pad, 700 square feet of patio. So a total of 840 square feet, which brings our total and existing impervious surface to 5,450 square feet, or 25%. So 25% is what we are seeking here as far as that variance, as far as the impervious goes. That is 1,530 square feet over the allowable, right? So the allowable is 3,920 square feet. So we're at 5,450, again, 1,530 square feet over. We do have a stormwater management system designed again, which will mitigate all 1,530 square feet, bringing us back down to 18%.
Wow. Jim, are those calculations correct?
There's just a couple of minor little typos here.
Okay.
The total existing impervious surface, when divided by the lot area, yields an existing impervious surface of 21.2%.
Yes.
They have 20.
I saw that, Jim. Good catch.
However, the proposed impervious surface ratio of 25.0 is correct, and the stormwater management system that they have will mitigate the runoff back to 18.5%. And the slight discrepancy there between Mr. McCubben's testimony is just that slight discrepancy between the existing and what
I switched them. I mixed it. I knew one of them was off, and the last one I said was a little bit over the existing. It was this one.
Hey, Matt, do you see any grading discrepancies here or issues that could not be mitigated by the mitigation effort?
Mitigated by the mitigation.
Yeah, yeah, I know. In other words, the flow. I'm just worried about the grading. I mean, it should be caught and captured in the stormwater infiltration pit. Is there any issues on the left side of the house? I'm looking.
No, there's appears to be a little bit of a swell to the left side going on to Adams, but the majority of it's captured by these little area drains, which I really like, and brought over to that infiltration basin.
Okay. Peter, are you comfortable with this?
I'm comfortable with this. Sorry, I'm muted.
No, it's okay. No, it's okay. Any public comment on this?
No public comment.
I don't see an issue. That was my only issue because it was so far over to the right.
I think it's a nice little design.
It does look pretty good.
Thank you.
Yeah, you seem to be doing good now that we've seen you a few times. We remember.
I hope so.
That being said, and there's no public comment, and the township's not involved, I'll ask for a motion.
I'll make a motion. Where is it?
21-18.
21-1899 to approve, subject to installation of a stormwater infiltration system back to an effective rate of 18%, subject to review and approval with the town or by the town engineer.
Jim corrected those numbers to 18.7%, was it, Jim?
18.5.
18.5. Thank you, Peter.
And also if, Matt, if you can just add the number that they're asking for, the 25.0% to your motion,
Okay.
just so it's clear for the record.
Okay. Well done. I'll correct it. Do we have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Being there's no discussion, I'll ask for a vote. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, say aye. Nobody's opposed. The motion is carried. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Really appreciate it.
Thank you. I like the designs.
I did too. I was impressed with you. I got to tell you, that face.
That was all Rob.
Yeah, I mean,
Saw the plans. Wait a minute, these look awful familiar. These two plans. Wait a minute. I thought maybe it was a copy and paste situation.
No, it just happened to work out because they were kind of
I looked at it a couple of times. Wait a minute, is this the same one? Hold on, we do look at it. Okay.
Excellent.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Appreciate it, everybody.
Have a great night.
You too.
Is there any other business?
Fred's been quiet the whole night there.
What? I had to tell my wife to stop walking upstairs. I said, well, I'm having a meeting. You can't walk upstairs because the tile floor, it just bang, bang, bang. Yeah, I said, everybody hears that. Okay, so if there's no other business, I'll ask for a motion for adjournment.
Make a motion to adjourn.
I get a second?
Second.
All right, all those in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Meeting's adjourned.